let's talk about consumer expectations, because they're driving, we changed our behavior, right, around every industry. So can you please, point out what are your observations? What are consumers, what are they about in 2021? Mhm.
I think consumers, when there's competition, which we have from tech giants, from fintechs, from banks, will benefit from insurance. Will InsurTech insurance will benefit from the competition, because everyone wants a piece of their time, a piece of their business. So when there's huge competition, it's good. It's very good for consumers. The only thing is, if there's so much competition, it's sometimes very difficult for consumers to determine which innovation or which service solution, fintech solution, for instance, is most beneficial to them. But options will be there, and that will put price pressure, which is good for consumers, so they will have to pay less. But I think they will benefit in general. The question is, in times we are in, is there enough money out there by consumers to spend on fintech solutions? You know what I mean? I mean, to do remittances, to send money to your relatives, yes, that money will go from one place to another, regardless of how much money you have, because they want to support their families. For things like challenger banks, I think it might be more difficult, because basically you don't have so much money. Do you need 3 bank accounts? Maybe 1 bank account is plenty if you don't have enough money, if at all. So I think some fintech players will have difficulties, because there's not so much money out there to spend beyond what you have to spend, your rent and food, just the essential parts of living. I think that will be difficult for some players that depend on people who want to experiment, who want to have maybe a different bank account because they feel like it. It's like a fashion item. Maybe today you want this challenger bank, tomorrow you want this challenger bank. Now the priorities are very different. It's just, maybe it's just build one relationship with somebody, with some financial institution, in order to rely a little bit more if you need them in difficult situation, if you need credit or whatever. So I think this year will be a difficult year for challenger banks, in my view, unless you have a very unique proposition that saves money for the consumer, like for instance, TransferWise, when you want to send money, as I said, remittances, perfect. Or exchange fees, you want to avoid exchange fees, you will go to Revolut. So unless you have a very unique proposition that brings benefits to your needs, it will be a tougher year for many fintechs.
Understand. So let's turn to InsurTech. Let's talk about insurance in a way that, again, right? What are new trends? What do you think about telematic devices? I hear a lot about, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, telematics has been here for a while. Doesn't excite me as much because it's there. It will of course, gain in importance in markets where it hasn't been established yet. I mean, Italy is telematics is very established, and in other places too. But I think that's not the game in InsurTech. I think InsurTech, of course, it's a little. InsurTech will play also a bigger role in these platforms. The challenger banks will partner with InsurTechs in order to provide the customers a broader service experience. From lending, if they can, if they're bank of obviously credit cards, savings, and then obviously they want to also provide them insurance products. There haven't been many good partnerships I can think of yet to make it worthwhile for everyone. So I think we'll see, but that we see that that those two players, fintech and InsurTech, are put as part of fintech. That those challenger banks, for instance, will partner with InsurTech companies. I see this trend accelerating. InsurTech still, I think we're still early stage. I think the insurance industry is obviously slower, and of course, we didn't have those interactions with insurances, as we know, because you bought the policy, and the only thing you got a notice if you have to pay your you have to pay for your insurance policy, and if you called again, it means you had a claim, so I didn't like it. This changed, you know. I mean, you have with car insurance, you pay by mile. Everything still, I think, things we're still at the early stage what InsurTech can do for customers. We will see cheaper policies. We will see more customized policies, which only through AI machine learning is possible. And the consumer will win, you know. InsurTech, I believe it's a very exciting place to be. And I mean, I'm involved with wefox, which is a fantastic InsurTech company, which serves the B2B as well as the B2C with one insurance. And there are a lot of good players out there, good players. And it's too early to tell where the industry is going, but I think there's still a lot of room to grow.